My favorite book is Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. The storyline is basically about this young man, Siddhartha, and his coming of age and his realizations of essentially what the important things are in life and what you really need to base yourself around.
My favorite book is called The Winger. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a story about a schoolboy in America who starts playing rugby. And I read that when I was about 13, and that inspired me to start playing rugby. And now I'm playing rugby for the rugby club here at Erasmus.
I learned from the book. I read this when I was about 18 years old, so leaving high school, and what I learned from it is essentially that times are changing. You need to figure yourself out, if that makes sense, but always doing it in the smartest way possible and the most mature way possible.
Perseverance, I guess, determination, and just the story of him picking up rugby and getting really good at it.
I would say the situation I applied it to the most is my studies. So taking it more as something that forms you rather than something that's an obligation, responsibility that you have to undertake. And so I've taken it to look at my studies in a different way, and also in general a different life approach.
What do you study actually?
Public international law
At the
Erasmus University Masters.
So would you recommend the book to others?
Definitely, 100%.
Absolutely. It's a great read.
So what is your favorite book?
Harry Potter. Yeah, the first one and the last one. Okay, basically, it's just about magicians. Harry Potter is the main character, the protagonist, and it's from Gryffindor. I don't know what to say. Really, it's like a fantastic story. I don't know. You know.
I think my favorite book is Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. It's about this kid who goes out west and joins a gang of outlaws, I guess. And they go around doing horrible things. It's a good book, like a study of evil.
Learn and inspired. I don't know if I learned something. Maybe just I learn how to dream more, be a dreamer. Because it's nice to think that you maybe one day could go to Hogwarts.
Is there something that you've learned from the book?
Don't run with the devil.
So would you recommend it to others?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course, it's my favorite one, so go read Harry Potter.
My favorite book is The Art of Being Happy, written by Schopenhauer. So the story is more about his philosophy of happiness and how he thinks about happiness and what he thinks about happiness. And he says that humans are meant to be sad, and we have very few moments of happiness, but that's why we have to appreciate them, because they are really few.
It ends with us, Colleen Hoover. It's about a girl, she meets a boy. The boy starts with domestic abuse, and then she meets another boy from her past, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's about that.
I learned that we have few moments of happiness, but we really have to appreciate those moments, as they are very few, and we have to live them at the maximum level of happiness. Keep going and try to see the positive things of positive sides of things.
This is something that you've learned from the book, or perhaps maybe inspired.
I studied psychology, and that's why I found it interesting, because it showed how difficult it was for people who deal with domestic abuse situations to leave, and more understanding for that, I guess.
Would you recommend it to others?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
So what is your favorite book?
Yeah, my favorite book is called Allegro Pastell by Leif Rand. The storyline is very simple. It's just about two people falling in love with each other. One guy who's a sort of creative web designer, and one woman who is an author, and the story is just about them evolving their relationship.
My favorite book is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. So it's a 365-page daily meditation summary that has a quote from a philosopher that follows the line of Stoicism, and then a little summary underneath that kind of explains the quote, and then also what it's applicable to your daily life. It really helps me look at my perspective of how I look at my friends, how I look at myself and like family and professional career, everything like that. And it helps me really just like reflect on myself, and that's what the purpose is for any reader. So it's just like a page a day, not really like a story per se, but just rather following a school of thought and helping you center yourself every morning or night when you want to read it.
One thing I learned from it is that it has this sort of like hyper-reflective way of talking about emotions and talking about love and so on. And I think this is something that just reflects quite well certain bubbles of current society. I think I learned from it that this is the case, and also maybe that in my own life this might be a bit too reflected even, and too distanced from one's own personality when talking about love and so on.
One of my favorite quotes was from Medicus, and it was basically like, I'm gonna mess it up a little bit, but it's basically like, if a passerby took your body and like hurt it, you would be furious, yet you let people take your mind and walk all over it. Have you no shame? And that quote really stuck with me because I used to value a lot about other people's opinions, and it was really hard for me, especially with like a day-to-day routine, to really trying to find what made me happy and not other people. And when I read that quote, it really just stuck with me, and that's a quote I share with all my friends that are going through like difficult situations in their lives where they might think about someone else's opinion or really be affected that, and without like looking at like what they truly value and what they want. So that's a quote that I've really stuck with, and probably one of my favorite learnings from the book so far.
Would you recommend it to others?
I would definitely recommend it to others, yeah. I don't know if it's translated, but if yes, I would.
Yes, I recommend it to everyone. It is my Christmas and birthday present to all my friends.
My favorite book is Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. It's about a young boy who lives in a sort of parallel world with another older man, and the story unfolds.
I would say my favorite book is the Medicus. So the storyline is about a boy whose parents died in the beginning of the book, and then the book goes on about the life of the boy, and he moves to, I think it's some Arabic country or something, but he wants to study medicine.
Something I've learned from the book is now that everything that you read isn't the truth, because there's a deeper meaning about it, and maybe also about life.
I think the book kind of inspired me because the goal of the boy was always to study medicine, and this kind of inspired me to do my degree here at RSM.
Would you recommend it to others?
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend it for sure.
I would definitely recommend the book. It's kind of a long book, but I think it's about 800 pages or something, but it's worth reading.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we know Harry Potter,
So I'm asking it anyway, so what's the storyline about?
Harry Potter, he was a magician. He went to Hogwarts.
Is there something that you've learned from them? Is there something? Okay, wait.